The most powerful thing you can do to create your desired dream reality is imagine it in your mind. All reality is first created in your imagination. Everything around you right now, including the device you're listening to this on, the cup of water you have next to you, the headphones you're listening with, everything that manifests in physical reality was first imagined in somebody's mind. And so, if we know that imagination is the seed of creation and that the mental and energetic planes of reality are the prerequisites to physical reality rearranging itself, it becomes quite obvious that our mind creates reality. What we imagine most is what our life becomes. Our current physical reality is a manifestation of the accumulation of previous thought energy and emotional energy in our mind, in our body, in our spirit. The predominant frequency that you live in now is what your reality will become 1 year from now. And so what we're going to do in this imagination exercise is imagine our ideal future, our highest timeline, 1 year from now, and get very clear on the characteristics of that reality, and most importantly, the emotional state, the energetic state, and the frequency, the internal frequency that you would be vibrating at or living at in that 1 year ideal future reality. That future reality, from a quantum sense, in the quantum field, there's no space and time. It's all just the now. We just experience it as time through our mind. But in the quantum sense, there's no past, there's no present, there's no future, there's only now. And so that future that you desire to create 1 year from now already exists in the quantum field as a certain potentiality or as a certain frequency. So it becomes very obvious once you understand this that your frequency creates your reality. The desired reality you want to live in is just a certain frequency, and the way to create it is to embody that frequency now. Not then, not once I move to Thailand, not once I move to Bali, not once I make 100K a month, not once I quit my corporate job, not once I get the girl, whatever it is. Those things do not precede the internal feeling. In fact, it's the other way around. The internal feeling, the frequency, the energetic state is what precedes all the external manifestations. Reality first is created in the mind, later it's crystallized into physical reality. You can understand this as well by understanding how physical reality is much denser than mental reality. In your imagination, you can go to Thailand, you can go to Bali, you can go to Mykonos, wherever it is in your imagination instantly. But for your physical reality to rearrange itself, it takes longer because physical reality is a much denser realm. That's why it takes time for things to manifest in physical reality. But in your imagination, you can shift your thought energy like this. And so long as you can stay in a coherent energetic state in your thoughts and in your emotional world, that physical reality will rearrange itself to match your new vibration. So most people won't take the time to do this, right? They just want to be told, okay, this is how it works. But the difference between the people who know how it works and the people who actually experience it and put it into practice are the ones who drill this into their mind and spirit and heart through repetition daily. You should imagine your future state daily, because without that, it's very easy to get bogged back down into daily life, into daily tasks, into daily routines, and you lose sight of the life you want to create for yourself. But if you can set aside the time, it only takes 10 minutes. You could come back to this video, or you could check out other guided meditations that I have, to sit down and get into the vibratory emotional state of the ideal future and live in that state throughout your days. It's only a matter of time before it becomes reality. So those who actually do this will see their wishes fulfilled. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through these following questions that I'm about to say to you, and you're about to create a mental image and an emotional state for each. And you want to get as clear as possible on each question. You want to bring in as many senses as possible. So don't just see it, but actually smell it. What would it be like? What would it feel like? What would it taste like, right? You want to bring in as many senses as possible because the frequency, the emotional world is what creates reality. And the more we can live in that emotional state, the more it will be created. So you could close your eyes real quick and just connect to your breath for just a short minute here. So just breathe into your nose deeply and then sigh it all out. We want to remove as much tension in the body and mind so the mind can be free to dream and think big. Another deep inhale. And another letting go exhale. One more deep inhale. One more letting go exhale. Now I want you to zoom out to 1 year from today, November 2026. How much can change in 12 months? And I want you to create a mental image for the following questions. We'll go through these slowly so you can really sit with each in your imagination. In this ideal future 1 year from now, where are you living? See the landscape. See the city. See the restaurants. Where are you living 1 year from now? In this reality, how much money are you making? How much money are you making per month? How much money are you making per year? How much money are you making per week or even per day? Imagine that number flowing into your bank account effortlessly. In this reality where you're living in your ideal place and you're making this ideal sum of money, what are you doing for work? What does a normal work day look like for you? How are you providing value to the world? Where do you work from? Do you have an office? Do you work from coffee shops? Imagine that. Imagine a normal work day in your ideal reality. What does a normal Tuesday look like for you in this reality? In this ideal reality, any Tuesday is complete. Any Tuesday is perfect. Any Tuesday is all you can dream of. You don't have to wait for the weekend to feel free. You can be free on a Tuesday. What does your calendar look like on a daily or weekly basis? Are there meetings? Are there calls? What are those calls like? What type of space do you have in your calendar? Who are you surrounded with in this reality? Imagine your business partners. Imagine your social circle. Imagine the people you do hobbies with. Who are the types of people, they could either be specific or broad, that characterize this ideal reality. Remember, bring in as many senses as possible to all of this. Now, in this 1 year future, how do you eat? What's your diet like? What makes you feel vital and strong and lean and energized? If limiting beliefs come up around, oh, I can't eat like that, it's too expensive, it's too much money, remember that you set a new number for how much money you're making. And so you can eat the highest quality food you want, so long as you allow yourself to imagine it and live in that state. In this future, what does your body look like? What does your hair look like? What does your face look like? How do you keep up with your grooming and your physical aesthetic? Are you tanned? What is your body language like? When you walk, when you speak, when you go to a business meeting, when you talk to a girl or a guy you're interested in? What's your body language like in this reality? How do you speak in this reality? Are you speaking a little bit slower, more confidently, with more conviction and more calculation? Or are you speaking more freely and effortlessly? How are you dressed in this reality? Your ideal reality, your ideal self, dresses differently than your current self. What changes in your style to reflect your new state of being? What is your romantic life like? What romantic opportunities are available to you? What type of partner are you looking for? And what type of partner are you able to now attract? How do you spend your free time in this reality? Imagine an afternoon where you don't have any work, you don't have anything to do. What would you do with that time? What creative projects are you working on? And what creative projects have you put out into the world? Something that inspires you. See yourself working on that creative project. And last, what do you no longer tolerate? What's no longer a part of your reality in this ideal future 1 year from now? What boundaries do you put up? What foods do you no longer eat? What clothes do you no longer wear? And what work do you no longer do? What naturally fades away as a result of you living in a higher frequency? Now, take this imagined version of yourself, anchor in that frequency, those subtle changes you felt in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. The changes in body language, the changes in posture, the changes in faith and conviction and knowingness. And if your eyes aren't already open, open them now. And imagine you've just been reborn. You're no longer the version of you who clicked on this video. You are now the version of you who's living in that ideal reality 1 year from now. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to wait for that reality to become true to be that person now. This is the secret. This is what all the mystics, all the manifestation experts, the Joe Dispenzas, the Neville Goddards, the Frederick Dodsons, this is what they all speak of. If you can live as that version of you now and embody that emotional and energetic state, or the frequency of that self, reality will rearrange itself to match your new frequency. I'll say that again. Reality will rearrange itself to match your new frequency. And your imagined future will create itself as a natural byproduct of who you are being. Now, who you are being, the frequency you live at, will naturally create different actions, right? This is the other end of the equation. If you just imagine it, but you don't go act in the world, nothing will change. But if you act in the world from the new vibrational state, the new future will crystallize. The new future will create itself. So, you can come back to this meditation as often as you'd like. I have a bunch of other meditations on my channel. I have more meditations in my Transcendence community. And I would recommend even potentially creating your own, or having a practice of every night when you go to bed, put on a guided meditation, take 10 minutes, and get into the imagined future. Get into the state of the imagined future. And if you drill that into your subconscious mind through repetition, slowly or sometimes quickly, your reality will begin to change almost magically, because you're vibrating and emitting a new frequency to reality. And so reality is going to rearrange itself to match. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and stay consistent with it every day, because it is the most powerful thing you can do to create your reality. See you in the next video. Peace.